Um, what is your full name and what is your hamuna?
سالم نصر الله سالم عبد النور زيادة من دار إبراهيم.
When and where were you born?
في رام الله 1964.
Please state your mother and father's full names.
أبوي اسمه نصر الله سالم نصر الله عبد النور. أمي اسمها زريفة بطرس السخلة من دار جريس.
Please state your grandparents' full names on both sides.
سيدي سالم نصر الله عبد النور زيادة. In my dad's side. In my mom's side, بطرس السخلة.
And your grandmother?
ستي in my mom's side حلوة السخلة من دار مفرح. وستي in my dad's side is سيرة مخيين زيادة.
Please state your grandparents' full names. What did your parents do for a living?
My mom was a housewife. My dad, he was a store owner.
Do you have any personal memories of your grandparents?
I have in my mom's side because my dad's side, both of them died. I don't know them. In my mom's side, yes, I do. And they used to sit in the old city in Ramallah. Everybody sit outside of their house on a couple of rocks, and everybody comes around, and they have a cup of coffee or a cup of tea. So, and I used to go there, you know, and if they do, they have fig trees and bear trees. We used to go climb there and eat it. And so I do remember him very well.
Tell us one of your most memorable stories you heard from your grandparents.
My grandfather on my mom's side, he went to America. He immigrant in the 20s. And when he came back, he used to tell us about Lincoln Square in the middle of Chicago. And I still remember what he told us. Then when I went to America, I went to visit that site. So that was stuck in my head.
What traditions did you practice while growing up, and do you still practice the same traditions?
I love the zaf and the mal'ab. I always like it, and I always participate in it, in the conventions, in the wedding, and whatever we can do it.
Describe your home in Ramallah. How many bedrooms did you have? Baths? Did it have modern amenities?
My home in Ramallah built in 1929. My grandfather built it, and my father. And he used to have 6 bedrooms. And it was no kitchen, of course. Him and his brothers, they used to live each family in one room. And the kitchen was outside, or you know, whatever they do. There was no running water inside, and there was no bathrooms. But later on, we fixed it up. We put a modern bathroom and modern kitchens, and we cut off one room. So now we have 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, 1 kitchen, and a sunroom outside. And we took care of it outside. One of the most beautiful old house in Ramallah. And every year I come here, and I still live in the house, and all my friends comes. And a couple of days ago, we had, I was sitting home. Everybody started coming from America and Ramallah, and we ended up with like 40 people. And we brought a guy with a oud, and he started singing, and we stayed up till 3 o'clock in the morning.
Did you share a room with anyone? If so, with whom?
Yes, I shared a room with my brother and my sister, actually.
What part of Ramallah did you live in, and who else lived with you?
Me and my mom, my sister, my brother is in Ramallah Tehta, Dar Ibrahim, Harid Dar Ibrahim. And we all used to live, actually, after my dad passed away, we didn't have any money. My mom used to rent rooms. So we rent 3 rooms, and we lived in 1 room and the bathroom and the kitchen only. So we used to live in 1 room, all of us.
Did you live in that house the whole time you lived in Ramallah? If not, where did you move?
No, I lived in the same house.
As a child growing up in Ramallah, what did you do for fun? Did you go swimming, biking with family?
We used to, the best thing to do in Ramallah in that time, we used to play in the old cemetery up the street. Then we used to do, it was across the street from us, it's like a playground, and we used to go play there with a football. Then when 7 or 8, we started to go to the Sarriya, and this is the most fun. We used to do camping, we used to walk to Ain Kenya to swim because there was no swimming pool in Ramallah. So we used to walk on the weekends to Ain Kenya. It's about 6 miles. Downhill, it's easy when you're going, but when you're coming back and you're tired, swimming, it's a hike.
Were you able to travel easily from village to village back then?
Yes, it was a lot easier. Before the first Intifada, it was easy to travel, but after it got very difficult, and I still have my Hawaiian passport, Palestinian passport, and I can't even go to Jerusalem unless I get a special permit.
What is one of your most vivid memories of Ramallah growing up here?
Actually, I want to say is the Sarriya is the best thing happened to us. And we used to do a lot. And the last year I was here in '88, the Intifada was here. And I have a lot of memory of the first Intifada. A lot of memory. A couple of my friends actually got shot and died. So that's really the two things, the Sarriya and the first Intifada in '87 when it started.
When the Arab-Israeli conflict began, what were some of the immediate changes you experienced living in Ramallah?
Well, it began, I was a little bit young. I was like 3 years old when they occupied West Bank. So I start notice it after 75. I was 10, 11, so I start notice it. And they used to tell me how they used to travel easy, and they used to, when it was Jordan taking care of West Bank, it was a lot easier, but you start to, feel the pressure on you. You can't go nowhere, you can't work anywhere, and if you leave the country in that time, if you leave, and the only place you can leave, it's from Jordan or Tel Aviv. Now we can't even go to Ben Gurion. So you have to stay 6 months before you come back, so nobody can leave. So we didn't leave at all.
How long did you live in Ramallah during the conflict?
24 years.
Can you say that I lived in Ramallah?
I lived in Ramallah since 1967 till '88. So it's 21 years actually, the conflict.
What did you and your family do to survive?
I worked when I'm young because my dad passed away when I'm 10 years old, and I was the oldest son. So I used to work after school, and mom also, after he died, she started working. And I opened a store when I'm 16 years old. I opened a grocery store. And actually I worked with a builder. He built the building. I worked with him for a year when I'm 15. Then I rented a store, and I opened a grocery store when I'm 16. Then when I'm 20, I also went to the fire department, and I went to train, and I used to work with the fire department and the store.
Where did you go to school in Ramallah?
In elementary school, I went to the Room Orthodox. Then الإعدادية, what they call it, from 6th grade to 9th grade, I went to the Hukuma, called the إعدادية, which was in the old city too. Then I went to الكلية الأهلية for a year. Then I quit.
Did you work? If so, what did you do?
Yes, like I told you, I worked in a building, then I opened a store. So I used to own a store here, and I used to be in the fire department also. I worked for 4 years.
When and where did you meet your spouse, if applicable? Did you know her in Ramallah?
No, she was born in America, but she's my cousin. And my sister, she hooked me up. She went a year before to America, and she saw her. And when she came back, she told me, "You go marry her, she's good." She liked her. So when I went, actually, and I went to their house, and we met, we liked each other, and it happened.
How and when did you get engaged and married?
I get engaged in September 1988 in Virginia, in the United States, in September. Then we got married in 1989, in January 1989. So next 6 months will be 30 years.
And also in Virginia?
In Virginia, we got married, yes.
Did you go on a honeymoon?
Yes, we did actually. We went to Los Angeles, and we stayed there for a week, and it was so funny. We sleeping one night at 12 o'clock at night or 1 o'clock at night, and a small earthquake happened. And when you're on the 12th floor, you feel it. And we got really scared. But it was nothing happened, it was just a small one. But when you're up high, you feel it more.
What is your occupation? What is your spouse's occupation?
I'm a real estate agent and a contractor in Detroit, Michigan. And my wife, she's an executive assistant for, she works for one of the financial people in Ford Motor Company.
How many children do you have?
I have 3 children, 2 boys and 1 girl.
How old are they?
The oldest is Nasri, he's 27. My daughter is 24. And my youngest, Rami, he's 19 years old.
Tell us about leaving Ramallah for the U.S. When did you leave? What mode of transportation did you take?
I left in 1988, and after the Intifada, it got to be so bad. Like I said, and I was financially okay here because I have a store and I work. But because of the Intifada, and they were taking everybody but them in jail, and a lot of them my friends, and a couple of my friends got shot and killed by the Israelis. I figure if I have a chance, I will leave, because one of the two, either you get shot or you go to jail. So I went to the embassy, and lucky I got a visa. So I left. So the motivation was the occupation.
How did you leave? From where?
I left from Tel Aviv, and so I took bought a ticket. I think it was KLM at that time. So we went to France for a couple of hours, then I went to Virginia straight from there.
Who did you travel with?
By myself.
Okay,
I traveled with nobody.
Okay, I traveled by myself.
I traveled by myself, yes.
Where did you land? Did you stay there? If not, where did you settle?
No, I landed in Washington, D.C., and I stayed there. Washington, D.C., it's like area, it's the capital, but we're surrounded. There's Maryland and Virginia, and I stayed in Virginia there for 8 years.
How old were you?
24.
Describe your feeling the first time you landed in the U.S.
It was weird because I'm by myself and I don't speak English, and I have a lot of cousins, but I don't know them because I didn't grow up with them. And I went to DC one time to meet my fiancée at that time for lunch, and I was walking around with 2 million people. I don't know nobody. I can't speak the language, but back then, and it was like, what the heck I'm doing here? So it was really weird.
Were your children born in the U.S.? If so, how many?
Yes, 3 of my children born in the U.S. The oldest, and my son and daughter, the oldest, was born in Virginia, Fairfax, Virginia. And we moved to Detroit in 1996, and my youngest was born in Detroit.
Talk about your immigration experience and living in the U.S. How easy was it to assimilate or blend into the American society?
It was not easy in the beginning because the language barrier, and little by little you blended and you start working and knowing people and knowing the language and know your way around. I say the first 2-3 years is the most difficult, then it gets easier.
Talk about your neighbors. Where did you live?
Yeah, we lived in Fairfax, Virginia in the beginning, and the neighbor over there is not like here. You live in an apartment and there's 200 people around you, you don't know nobody, and most of the time they didn't even tell you good morning. So it was difficult. Here you know everybody. You walk around everybody, you be sitting home, they start coming without phone or nothing, and it was very difficult. The culture barrier, it was big.
Do you have any family members remaining in Ramallah, or are they all in the U.S.?
No, I have my brother and his wife and his kids, they still live in Ramallah.
Since immigrating to the U.S., have you traveled back to Ramallah? If so, when and how often?
Yes, the first time I came back, it was in 1993 because I lost my Hawaiian and I couldn't come back till I have the American passport. And then the second time I came in 1999. It was for the engagement of my brother. And the third time I came in 2006. And in 2014, 2016, 2017, and I'm going to do it every year.
Describe how Ramallah feels to you since leaving.
It's a lot of changes because of what happened. You know, it's a hub now. It's the government in it. And I used to know Ramallah back then with a lot of mountains, a lot of olive trees. And now, like they say, is they took كام الشجر وحطوا الحجر. So there's no more trees around and a lot of roads. And it's beautiful, but it's not Ramallah, the one I grew up in.
Do you still stay in touch with people in Palestine?
Absolutely. I'm very active with the Federation. And I stay in touch with all my friends here. And I stay in touch with the Syria, where I grew up. And so I'm in touch with them all the time.
What are your thoughts about Ramallah now and what's happening in Jerusalem?
About what's happening in Jerusalem, about the embassy, of course. Okay, Ramallah, like I told you, changed. But I think it changed for the better in a way. And what happened in Jerusalem about moving the embassy is, to me, I don't think it's right, but Mr. Trump moved it, and in 1996, the Congress took that decision. So the decision was made in 1996, and now they moved it. So hopefully, Jerusalem is the capital of Palestine to all Palestinians. Hopefully they will reverse it, and we'll get Jerusalem back, and we'll get the state of Palestine back. Sooner or later, it's going to happen. Never give up.
Do you think you will see peace in your lifetime?
I hope so. I hope so. Palestine been occupied for the last 2,000 years, if you read the history, so I hope so.
I hope I will see peace.
I hope I will see peace in Palestine in my lifetime.
What, if anything, are you doing to help the peace process?
I do my best. Me and my kids actually that are involved. In America, we can send our congressman or senator emails and request to vote in favor of us. So that's what we do over there, what we can. But I will stay in touch with my homeland here, and we come with a medical mission, and I come with them all the time, and every time they come for the Easter trip, I'll try to come. And I stay in touch with mostly the Palestinian here. So I don't know if I'm doing something to help the peace process, but I do something to help them stay here.
What are you doing in support of the Palestinians?
Like I said, I'm very involved with the Federation. We raise money there, send it to the societies here, and scholarship, Project Hope. So anything with the Federation over there, the convention, and I don't do stuff by myself, but I do it with the Federation, through the Federation. And the Federation helps a lot in stuff like that.
Is there any other story that you would like to tell us or to elaborate on?
Like I told you, a couple of my friends got shot, and a bunch of them went to jail. And I remember one bad memory is we were in Ramallah, Tahta, and we had protesting, and we throwing rocks on the soldiers. And one of my friend, he went the wrong way, and one guy shot him, and his headstone in there, behind the Jami' there, and he got shot 4 bullets in his head. His brain would. That would really hurt me, and I never forget it.
Talk more about the memories that you have.
The memories when we were very young, we used to, like I said, we used to play with anything. We used to go to the cemetery up the street. Spent the whole day there. And it was very safe back then. It's still safe now, but it was different. Different because everybody knows everybody. You know, if somebody got hurt, next door neighbor would grab you and help you. And we used to play there a lot. We used to, some Ain al-Joz, they call it. I don't know if you're familiar with it now. You don't see nothing with it. It's a small creek with a small pool in it. It was, we used to go there and swim in it. I know it wasn't clean water, but that's what's available. That's what's available. And we used to go to Ain Kini a lot. And the best thing for me it was when we go collect the olive. Because bunch of us go there and start cutting the olive trees, and we'll put الحرامات تحت. And we make shay there, and we cook there. We stay there for a couple of days. We just leave at night time. And you put the olive trees on the donkey and take it back home, back and forth. So that's really very good memories for me.
If there's anything else you want to add?
I think that's it. And I'm very glad and happy to have everybody back for the convention. And hopefully they start doing it every 5 years, and hopefully we come do it next time or in Palestine after we get it for free, we free it from the occupation. That's my really big hope. To next time we have the convention here, we'll have a free Palestine.